everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. My name is Momas. I'm joining from Lagos. I can see David Ade, I can see Lawrence. Can you tell us where you're joining from? And we'll take it from there. So while we're doing that, I also want to tell you, okay, if you are here, what are you going to get out of here? What are you expecting? Oh, it's a long-awaited day has arrived. So while we're trying to do that, let me humbly introduce some of the people you are going to be hearing from. They are going to be exciting. This is going to actually be an exciting time. I can actually attest to that. So first of all, we have Mr. Raymond, and Mr. Raymond is joining us from Rensource Energy. Mr. Raymond is going to speak to us about alternative energy through the solar. So he's going to make sure that you get every single thing you need to know. For instance, you've been saying in your house or in your estate, you don't have lights. You guys really need 24 hours light. You pay too much to be in the estate. And at this point, you really want to get a solution for you to be able to have 24 hours electricity through alternative energy. We have Raymond here to make sure that happens. Now, another of our speakers that we're going to have today with us is Mr. Marcus. Mr. Marcus is joining us from MEMCO, that's Momas. If you are if you know the electricity industry very well, you will know Momas. So they are actually specialized. They specialize in metering system. So he's going to teach us how to. Rensource teaches us how to get the power. Then the metering company, which is Momas, is going to teach you how to distribute it and make sure that there is no theft. If you are in an estate, for instance, and you guys have a collective power supply, for instance, at the end of the month, maybe you get a bill of 50 million naira, and the thing that the occupants or your estate members are bringing in is like 25 million naira. So this solution is going to help you manage that. So at the end of the month, whatever was distributed or whatever was supplied to you is for the consumers is the exact money you are going to get in. So to bring all these things together to make sure that it's in one fix, I have Mr. Ifeany here, who is the CEO of Limestone. So he's coming in with the solution for the technology, bringing Momas, bringing Rensource to make sure that, okay, all these things are in one place. I know we've told a lot of you on WhatsApp to try and download an application called Limestone. So Limestone basically is managing these two systems to ensure that at every point in time, you don't have to start pursuing somebody to be like, okay, where is this one, where is that one? So at this point, I've introduced the three speakers. So just keep introducing yourself. I can see Lola the Mermaid. Lola, thank you. You are coming from Lagos. I can see David Ade. You're also joining us from Lagos. Thank you very much for your time. So for instance, if you are here, let me basically prepare your mind as forget your mind for this exciting webinar. You are going to have an amazing time. So first of all, if you are here, maybe you're an estate manager, if you're an estate owner, if you're a landlord, if you're anything, and you are struggling with electricity. For instance, you are struggling with it, you don't even know how to deal with it. And we know that once there is light, it also attracts tenants to come to you. So what this webinar is going to teach you is how to make sure you have constant electricity that would attract tenants to be and live in your estates. Another thing this webinar is going to expose you to is that it's going to expose you to an application, like I said, called Limestone. Limestone is going to help you in conversations. For instance, you're in an estate, you have news, you have something to broadcast, you have an update to send. Most people use WhatsApp now. Yes, WhatsApp is there. But we have a solution that will help you if you want to send a message to a particular group of people, to some people, or you don't want to get to other people. So this solution is also going to solve that your problem. For instance, if you're also having security problems in your estate currently, accessing visitors, for instance, some of us that live in an estate, you'll be in your house, then a visitor just knocks on your gate, and you'll be like, okay, I wish there's any way I can control people, I can know people I'm expecting. This solution is also going to answer that your question. So before a visitor gets to your gate, you get alerted. Now, this solution will also come in with something that we call panic alert button. So for instance, you're in your house at any point in time, and there's an emergency. Maybe you're not even in your house, your next door neighbor, you're hearing screams from your next door neighbor, maybe there is a problem, there's a fire incident, there's a theft. All you need to do is to press a button on the same solution that I'm talking about, and it will bring the security people straight to your location. So if you are here and all these are your problems, and all these are things you need to come. You have been thinking of how to solve this problem. That is why we are here. So first of all, we are going to teach you how to have reliable energy supply in your community that is going to be consistent at every point in time. And it's not a matter of when you sit down and they get you a bill of something. They will get you an exact bill as you are paying you are using. You are not going to get an estimated bill at any point in time. That's what the solution is about. So at this point, I'm going to call in the MD, the CEO of Limestone, to introduce and charge up the atmosphere before the other guest speakers come in. Mr. Ifeany.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. It's exciting to be here today. This is an event that we have been waiting for. I'm happy to have all of you come here to join us today. The moderator, Amaka, had done a great job of introducing everybody that is supposed to be here. And that is great. And I'm also very happy that we have a good number of people that have joined us from different places. It's great to see that. So for everyone that is over there, just do us a favor, drop your name and where you're coming from, where you're joining us from, and what you intend to get out of this event. That'll be great. It's a great day to be here today. This has been a long time coming. We've been working with Rensource Energy. You're going to be hearing from their speaker today. They'll be talking to you about what they do best about energy generation. So if that is something that's exciting to you, we're going to be hearing that today. We're also going to be hearing from Momas. Amaka also mentioned this as well. You're going to be hearing from them as well. And at the end of the day, I'm going to come back again and I'm going to talk to you about the solution that we've built in Limestone that is tying all of these things together in a very meshed way. It's going to be an exciting time today. And there are a lot of things we have in stock for you towards the end. So for those that wait till the end, they will be the ones that will get those things. So stay tuned. I'm going to leave it here because of time. I'll turn back over to the moderator and to introduce the next speaker for this event. Thank you. Keep dropping your name and where you're from and what you want to get from this event. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ifeany, for that wonderful introduction. Like he said, you sit down here, you've been waiting for, some people have waited for 1 month for today, some people have waited for 3 weeks, some people is actually 24 hours. So what he's basically saying is that at the end of this event, I've talked about the solution. So we are going to give it out today at a discounted price. So if you stay to the end of the event, then the details are going to be shared with you, and then exactly what you need to do, because we're also going to give out a certificate at the end of this event. At this point, I'm going to invite Mr. Raymond from Rensource to take over the screen. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Can I have my slides up? Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Limestone is doing an exciting one towards helping real estate solve their power needs and security needs, general utility needs, anyways. But we are partnered with them as a leading solar company in Nigeria to help them achieve this dream, right? So I'll just go through what we do as a company, rentals, and our solutions for real estate and other commercial businesses. Thank you. So next slide, please. So Rensource is a leading C&I company. By C&I, I mean a commercial and industrial company. So at solar, we have three different scales of solar. We have residential solar. So we have small scale solar, we have mini grids, and we have commercial and industrial solar. So basically, commercial and industrial solar deals on large needs from probably about 200 kilowatts. So in terms of kVA, about 350 kVA and above, and most likely real estate fall in that category. So that's why we're excited about this partnership. So about Rensource, so Rensource was formed in 2014. Um, so far, we have deployed about 15 megawatts of solutions across various sectors. So we have in Sabon Gari market in Kanu. Next slide, please. We have saved yeah. So this our profile. So we started as a CNI company. Sorry, as we started as a mini grid company providing solutions to markets in Sabon Gari, in Ipori, and in Lagos, and we have evolved over the years. So in July 2018, we served about 25,000 merchants from 12 markets our partnership with REA. And at last year, as of 2019, just before the COVID, we were able to transition into commercial and industrial business. Then, towards the end of 2019, we were able to raise about $20 million to fund our project because most our projects, in the coming slides, I'll show you our project model. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So basically, this is like a sample of what we do. This is our head office picture in Lagos, where we have solar installations around. Next slide, please. Yes. So this is our project development process. So basically, what we do is we engage the customer first to understand the customer's needs. Definitely for real estate, you have various houses have various needs, right? So some of them might have um, probably for terraces. You might have bungalows. You might have duplexes, standalone duplexes. So what we do first is we give bespoke solutions to everyone. We don't have a generalized solution, so you can't just call us and say, "Oh, you need solar," and we'll give you a quote. What we do bespoke solutions. So we actually understand the customer needs because our value proposition is basically cost savings. We want to help customers save cost as well as have access to reliable power. So what we do first is to engage the customer. Then we move on to audit the load. Then after we audit the load, we actually get your requirements. Then we design. We have a back end engineering team that does a proper design. Then we come out after the design. We also do environmental assessment to make sure there's no hindrance to for real estate now. Probably there's no hindrance to the playground for children. There's no hindrance to the residents. So that's why we actually do an environmental impact assessment of our solutions also. Then we move on to the proposal. Then we have different forms. So here you can see we have power purchase agreement, we have the lease agreement, that's lease to own. That's it works over 4 years period. You pay us monthly for about 4 years. Or the power purchase agreement. The power purchase agreement model is you pay us only a tariff, right? So what we are doing is we are trying to be competitive with your conventional disco, where if your disco is charging you, for example, in Lagos, I think Eco Disco charges about 63 naira per kilowatt hour or thereabout. We're going to give you something comparative to them. So even if you're taking an alternative energy, you're actually saving costs. So that's what we do. Then that's the power purchase agreement. Then for the lease agreement, it's actually shorter. So it's about sorry, let me just report one last final thing. For the power purchase agreement, it's actually a long tenure agreement. So it's usually between 15 to 25 years, where you pay us monthly over this period. But for some people that don't like those long tenure, because probably maybe for relocation and for other unforeseen circumstances, some people might like shorter tenure. So for those people that want a shorter tenure, we go with the lease agreement. The lease to own agreement is it's actually a 4 year agreement. You can just pay us a down payment of about 25%, and you spread the payment after 4 years. So at the end of the 4 years, the whole equipment belongs to you. Then we have the outright sale and outright sale agreement. Sorry, in the outright sale agreement, you pay us full, so it's a one-off purchase, right? So those are for people that have that are very liquid, that are very financial stable, and they just want the one-off cost. They just want to pay and know they're done with us. So for those months, we have those agreement for them. Then we also have O&M agreement. So for both the power purchase agreement, those ones, the tenant agreement and the lease agreement, we have operation and maintenance. So we operate and maintain it throughout the tenure of the agreement. So if you're doing a 15-year agreement with us, you don't have to worry about, how will you operate it? How will you, if the battery goes down, if the panels go down? It actually, the tariff actually comes with operations and maintenance, right? So we guide you through the process where with you throughout the 15 or 25 years, we operate and maintain. And what you have to do only is just to pay us our tariff, just the way you pay discos that tariff. So we're like a utility company with using solar as our source. So the only difference, the major difference between us and Eco Disco or Abuja Disco, it's actually the source. The normal discos use either hydropower or gas as their source of electricity, while we will use solar. Then the financing, like I mentioned earlier, in our two options, we actually raise the capital for you, so there's actually no upfront cost. In the power purchase agreement, there's zero upfront cost. We take over the whole cost of the equipment, where you only pay us a tariff monthly for 15-25 years. And for the lease agreement, you pay us only 25%. So we finance about 25% for you, while you pay us over you pay us over 4 years. Then for the outright sale, that's when you now pay us upfront. Then we are for our backing, we are backed by international financiers. About we have big persistent energy, Green, and EDP. So many stable companies that were reputable internationally. So about financing, you're sure we can meet your financing needs. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. It's not loading. Okay, yeah. So back to so yeah. So that's so apart from the deployment, right, we also offer other value added services. So that's the difference between us and the roadside solar companies or the roadside solar installers you see. So we offer what is called remote monitoring. So if remote monitoring is actually like a we we actually have a log, right, that shows consumption data, that shows if any system is down, we can predict it before it happens. So we actually do preventive predictive maintenance, right, to help you to ensure there is no downtime. So our value proposition to customers, we have 99.9% uptime. So at every time you're sure of reliable power. Then we have real time and downtime notification, like I told you. So it's actually we actually give you an access to a platform. You as the customer, you actually can see your consumption, can see your savings from our platform, and we also back end can also control it back end. So that's one of the value added services we offer apart from just the installation that we do. Next slide, please. Yeah, so like I said, our offerings. So we have different offerings. This we have the solar PV only. The solar PV only is for it might not really apply to real estate. So I can talk about the next two that applies to you. So we have the solar PV hybrid solution. So this is for real estate that don't want battery, right? So we just use our solar panels and sync it with your generators and supply electricity to you. This is actually a cheaper option. That's the second option, actually a cheaper option. Then the last option is actually more expensive because it comes with batteries. Like we all know, the cost of batteries are expensive, right? So that's the but it's more reliable. So you can serve for nighttime load. The problem with the second solution, though it's cheaper, but in the night time you have to go back to your generators. But the last option on this slide, it actually comes with the battery. So it helps you access electricity during the night time where there is no sun. So that's our three models. Thank you. Next slide, please. So this is our PPA model, like I told you. For the power purchase agreement, our PPA model. First, we do the sizing. Yeah. Then after the sizing, we draft a power purchase agreement with you. With probably most likely, if we're working with estate now, it's going to be with the estate management. So because we don't want to deal with Mr. A, B, and C, we want to be sure what this. If, for example, if it's a if the estate is called Limestone Estate, we want to be dealing with Limestone Estate Management Company, or let's say or Limestone Residents Association. We want to deal with just a single party because of the problem of collections. To avoid old collection problems, we want the estate management to do the collections for us while they remit to us. So that's what. So those are the terms and conditions that will be in the PPA. That PPA means power purchase agreement, right? Then we move to the third one, that's the finance and construction. So like I told you, we finance it fully. So for the PPA model, there is you're not paying a dime, like one kobo, you're not paying a one kobo. We use our own resources, we do the audit, we do the financing, we construct and deploy. So your first payment is only after you consume for 1 month. And sorry, and it's actually metered, right? So actually meter our facilities, our installations. So you're going to pay at the end of the 1 month. We now tell you, oh, we now go to your facility and check the meter. Okay, how much electricity have you consumed? And mind you, the PPA comes with a tariff. So we multiply it by the tariff, then you get your payment for the month. Then that's actually the billing. Then, like I told you, O&M, that's number five. O&M, like I told you, we operate and maintain the facility throughout the period. So example, if we're deploying for a limestone estate, we're going to have a staff member of Rensource Energy that will be at Limestone Estate. We're going to establish like a mini office or a station at Limestone Estate to be sure it's fully operational. So that's the value added services. So we have a staff on ground that operates and maintain it. So if it's a 15-year tenure, throughout the 15 years period, you don't have any issue going to do any maintenance or operations and maintenance. We maintain it throughout. Then the transfer option. So after the end of the tenure for a 15, that nominal fee. And some people might ask at the end of 15 years, the system is actually people might ask at the end of the 15 years, the system is might be outdated, right? But then it's not. For the panels have a lifespan of about 25 years. Inverters have a lifespan of about 20 years. So those it's only the batteries that might wear out at the end of 15 years. So you still have other units that are important that you can actually use after the contract elapses. Next slide, please. Like I told you, we're a leading company. We deal with O&M, reputable O&M that are recognized worldwide. So you have the likes of Schneider Electric, we have the likes of Jinko Solar, we have the likes of Huawei, Victron Energy. These are industry leaders in terms of batteries, in terms of PV, in terms of inverters. So you're sure where you're getting the best systems to be deployed to you. We're not like other companies that give you system that you have downtime that will break after 2 or 3 years. Like I told you, we are with you. We're like a partner with you throughout your energy journey. We're with you throughout the system. So we're ensuring we're going to give you the best systems to make sure you have reliable electricity throughout the tenure. Next slide, please. So like these advantages, these are the advantages of our solutions. First, you have reduced energy costs. Yes, so definitely, like I told you, our tariff is competitive to to discos, even if it's a little bit higher than the disco, it's actually going to be cheaper, 100% cheaper than diesel. Like we all know, the price of diesel is about 800 today. So a unit of diesel is about 300 naira per kilowatt hour. But the most we can charge is probably 200 for those. For estates where we use lots of batteries, we charge them about 200 per kilowatt hour, which is still you're saving 100 naira per kilowatt hour, which in turn will turn into millions at the end of the month, and probably hundreds of millions at the end of the 15 years tenure. So this is our value proposition: energy cost. Then you have increased stability and reliable power. So you're sure you're going to have, like I told you, our in our service agreement SLAs, you have 99.9% uptime. So you're sure 99% of the time you have light. So there's nothing like, oh, down NEPA, up NEPA, and the rest. You're sure you're having light, so you're living the standard that you deserve. You're having you're having value for your money. Then environmentally, our systems also help you reduce CO2 emissions. Like we all know, global warming, the environment, like now the waters, the rising level, sea levels are high, the heat is everywhere. Like the environment is not safe. Everybody, the whole world is it's advocating for climate change and cleaner energy. So our system actually helps you reduce CO2 emissions. And there's what we call carbon credits, right? So there are international organizations that help people. It's not really effective in Nigeria now, but I'm sure in years to come, it's going to be very effective in Nigeria. So what we call carbon credits, right? So for those that help reduce CO2 emissions, they get access to some form of credit. So our solution will also help you estates to get those forms of um of um of credit. So the last one is custom increased focus on your core businesses. So we help you take away your power struggles. So if you're a mother or a father, you can actually focus on your business or focus on raising your family instead of thinking about power. For real estates that have generator services or offer power to their residents, we help you take off that burden. Your estate management or facility management can actually focus on other utility factors, probably security or environmental factors, than talking about power, because we help you take over those power needs. Next slide, please. So, like I told you, our management is fully equipped, fully experienced. Like these are members of our top management. Like we have UC, it's our co-founder, executive director. We have Prince. Prince has over 15 years experience. It's our CEO. We have Dennis. Dennis is our VP technical. We have Michael, our VP commercial. So, like I told you, we are all of our. You can see their resume. We have they are distinguished themselves in the field of renewable energy and finance. So they are all you're dealing with trusted and capable hands with us. Next slide, please. These are other members of our board. We have head of finance, head of strategy. They're all, like I told you, they all have over 10 years experience in the field of renewable energy and finance. Next slide, please. Yeah, so these are other value propositions. Safety to all employees. These are safety values. So we are safety to all employees and contractors. You're sure your estate is safe. Health and well-being of employees. For offices. We promote safe working environment and living environment. Environmental responsibility. We promote greener environment and cleaner environment. As we all know, diesels and fuel brings the fumes they release this causes dangers to environment. Like our solutions are clean and green energy, so your environment is clean. Next slide, please. So these are part of the work we have done. So as part of our value, we have a corporate social responsibility as a leading company. We care about the citizens of Nigeria. So during the COVID, we were able to deploy some we are able to deploy a solar unit at one of the COVID treatment center, the doctor quarters. We are able to also supply food items to the Lagos Food Bank, and we donated some safety equipment to the market. So like I told you, during any pandemic or epidemic, we don't pay for anyone, but we are there with you, and we're sure we want to support the estate wherever there's any need of for any corporate social responsibility. Where we have a strong value in our company for to be responsible to our citizens. Thank you. Next slide, please. These are samples of our installations. So, like I told you, we are very competent. So we're not we have done this is actually in Nigeria currently today. It's actually the largest installation in a farm. It's a 700 kilowatt peak facility. In terms of kVA, this is about 825 kVA. So it's in Abuja in a poultry. It's actually live and direct. So those of us in the north, for estates in the north that are thinking of competence, you can actually check it out when you come around the north or in Abuja. You can see it. It's premium poultry. They have been operating since 2011, since 2021. This is about 3 years now, and it's still working. This is Sabongari Market in Kanu. You can see we have powered 11,000 shops, and up to today, we're still serving the customers. So it's something similar we're going to deploy to estates. Next slide, please. It's just some of them. Next slide, please. Um, So these are just some of our installations and just to show our competence. This is actually Base University. This is our latest project. Is Base University. It's a 5 megawatts. That's about 5,000. That's about 6,000 kVA. So it's actually one of the largest installations in Nigeria today. We're powering the whole we're powering the whole Senate, the whole university and their medical. They have a teaching hospital, we're powering the teaching hospital also. So, like I mentioned, in terms of competence, Rensource Energy is very competent and we are ready to work with Limestone and on your real estate and all facility managers to ensure we provide clean, reliable energy to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Raymond. Did you hear everything I heard? I'm just very excited. Okay, if you live in a typical estate, like you can relate to what he's saying. He's telling you that instead of paying 300 and something naira that's per kilowatt that some people pay currently, they are offering 200 naira per kilowatt. You're not just getting a deduction in the price. If you know solar very well, you're not going to be sleeping and hearing some wonderful noise from the generator. That's one. Then the second thing is that you're not going to be lying down. We've had news of people that are sleeping and smoke from generator. They didn't wake up because they just died. So you're not going to have that experience. So we are bringing that, and you can see the credibility. You can see the companies they've worked for, and if you're in some of those states they listed, you can actually go and verify it. We are not telling you something that can't be verified. We are telling you something that you can go and verify. And when you verify, I hope you come back and give us an amazing feedback. So at this point, I am taking questions. If you have any question for Mr. Raymond, you can drop that on the chat box. We'll get that and we'll give it to him. He would answer from the um, from this. I'm going to ask a question. Like, how many of you live in an estate currently and have 24 hours light? You are not stressed. You are an estate manager. Nobody is calling you one day and telling you, oh, light is no more working. Nobody is calling you to tell you, oh, the diesel has finished. You didn't send a market, maybe you send someone to the market to go and buy diesel and they tell you, oh, sir, they are no more selling 600 now, it's now 690. And you start running around, oh, how am I going to deal with this? You are no more dealing with maybe at night, you are sleeping and never just takes the light. Trust me, it's something you want to have. So do you have questions from any attendee? Questions are all open to taking that now for rain source. So, in the absence of any question, even if at the end maybe you just remembered, Solo Ojo Oja, I think you are going to be excited with what you are hearing. I can see you are managing an estate from Ikeja, and I don't know that the estate you are managing currently has 24 hours light. I believe this is something you would want to. You can also reach out at the end of the whole conversation. We are going to take it from there. So, in the absence of any other question, I'm going to bring in Mr. Marcos from Momas to take over the floor. Thank you.
Good morning. Uh, Good morning from wherever we are. My name is Revenue Assurance Most Specialist at Raymond, and I'm glad that was enlightened webinar for us to set uninterrupted power supply and alongside measurable energy for proper accountability and energy consumption. So, not to waste our time, we're just going to go to the slides and start the introduction. So, please, can I have the slide up? Yes, I will be talking on leveraging advanced metering technology for efficient energy management and driving energy efficiency in residential estates. Just like this, as we would say, basically, anything that is, when you're referring to metering, energy metering generally, we can only offer the service to two institutes. Number one is the discourse, that's distribution companies. Many people don't know what you call by what we mean by discourse. I'm talking about a disco, IBDC, Eco Disco, that's EKEDC, that's Eco Electricity Distribution Company. So let me give you a brief history of Mempo. Yeah, the company was incorporated in 1995 to be operating since then. So initially we were working as a support service company, which was named Momas. So, and we went further into metering system in 1997 when we helped resolve the issue of prepayments in the NEPA system. Then it's why called NEPA, but now called PHCN. So we're the first and the company that helped solve the issue of prepayment system. Then initially used to be postpaid meters, and most time you can have issues of bills like estimated bills. NEPA just brings your bill for you, estimated bill. You don't actually know how you arrived at that cost that they are charging you, which can be sometimes devastating, and it's causing a lot of setback in either estates or residential owners. So we are leading technology company in metering aspect, and we have been functioning now for this is the 28th year that we're in the business and the system in the industry, and of course we're moving forward because our mission is to provide highly innovative technological solutions to our customers, and that is by designing according to what is required by our stakeholders. Next slide, please. So, like I said, we're the first in West Africa to develop the management and billing platform. So, alongside the meters, have a meter that can efficiently measure and accurately measure the energy consumed. Now, if you have
Hello, thank you everyone. While we are trying to resolve that, so we got one amazing question for Rensource from one of the attendees. Raymond, someone is asking, how big is the space you need for installation? So the person wants to know, do I need to get you one plot of land? Do I need you to get 100 plots of land? Do I need to get 100 roofs of a building? So can you kindly answer the question, please? Oleko,
Okay,
second,
okay,
yes.
okay. Thank you very much for the question. So, like I mentioned before, we have bespoke solutions for everyone. So actually do an audit. I can't just answer how big space you need right now. I need to like see the facility and know what are your energy requirements, right? When I know your energy requirements, then I'll actually know the number of panels we'll need, right? Once I know the number of panels you need, then I can now check if your roof is good enough. If your roof is good enough, then we can actually use your roof mount. If not, if your roof is not suitable enough, we can actually now talk about ground mount. So we have three options. We have the roof mount where we put it on the roof, or if you have a parking space, we can actually install like a carport system. Then we also have the ground mount. So we have three options. So the first most preferable choice we use is the roof. But if the roofs are not suitable, we now think about the carport or the ground mount. So thank you. So the space actually depends on your load requirements. The bigger the load, the bigger the space you need. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Raymond. For people that don't really understand the plenty electrical jargon, what he's saying is like if you have a typical house, you know the number of ACs you have, you know the amount of fridge you have, you know the amount of lightning points you have. If you want to buy a generator, for instance, you have to consider all those things before you decide, oh, I need a 3 kVA generator or 4 kVA generator. So Raymond is basically telling us that let's take, for instance, you need the solution in the for your estate. He has to come and study your estate. Like how many buildings do you have? Take like he can do an estimation. Like you said, they have a team that will come and do estimation, take the estimation of the load, a load that you have available in your estate. He's going to now be able to decide, okay, how many panels am I going to be able to install these people so that they are going to so they would have the 24 hours lights we are promising them. So that's basically what Raymond is saying. Now, for instance, if you're also interested in that, if you see the picture that he put up, there are some solutions that comes with batteries, and there are some solutions that you have to switch to your generators and the rest of them. So all those things will give him time to do those analysis to be able to answer your questions correctly. Do we have any other question? So let's go back to Mr. Marcus from Momas. Thank you.
Okay, sorry for the interruption. I'm sure we are back and proper now. So, yes, as I was saying, I was talking about Memcore. That I was making you understand that we are a leading company in the system. And as of today, let me take it from this aspect. We handle two aspects of metering: on grid and the off grid. You know, take for example, you are a real estate owner or estate developer, and you've gotten your solar system from Limestone. You know, we can bring Memcore into the scenario for the metering, which is the off grid. The on grid is when you are dealing with NEPA itself, and in that aspect, for estates, you have to deal with. You have to have situations of you have to have a bill that's something that's called bulk bill, or you have your own dedicated transformer. So we service in that aspect. Now let me move back to our first, please. Next slide, please. Yes, as earlier stated, and in line with the topic, we of course we service in smart meters and non-smart meters. We have smart home distribution boards and also substation enhancement panels. Next slide, please. Yes, not to waste our time, but we have limited time. We, of course, in electricity, in metering world, we have two phases. We have a single phase and a three phase, and this is actually limited to your energy consumption rate. Now, if you are maybe probably a shop owner, maybe in the facility or in the estate that you have, the estate owners have already installed the off-grid electricity, that is the solar system, and you are probably just a shop owner and you need a meter there. Of course, if your load limit is between the range of 80 amps, only 50 amps, you wouldn't be needing a three-phase meter, because a three-phase meter rating is minimum of 5 amps and a maximum of 100 amps. So this meter is actually designed to mix up the level of energy consumption and be able to manage them properly. So the first one, we have a single phase and three phase meter. We call this is actually the loading pictures. This is how they look like. And these meters are STS certified meters. Now, what we mean by STS certified meters? Now, the STS body, which is the standard transfer specification body, There's a body that is in charge of a unified module whereby all meters can communicate and can transact and can manage billing in one module. So, which means that if you buy our meters here in Nigeria, maybe probably buy it in Lagos State and you want to move to maybe let's say Ibadan, of course you can still use it in Ibadan as long as the communication interface with the meter is also ST certified. So these meters are ST certified. They are smart. Like I said, we have the smart and we have the non-smart. The initial one was the non-smart, and this one pop up now is the smart meter. These are our smart GPRS or GSM module meter. Now these meters communication interface is with compact. It's a two-way communication meter. Now what do I mean by two-way communication meters? You are an estate owner. You've gotten your billing system. That's your energy system, and you want to have enough. You want to have a meter that can manage the energy consumption rate properly. Now, when these meters are being installed, there are various communication modes. We have different customers. They may have customers that, of course, like to do their thing remotely, and then you may have customers that would just would not mind about doing remotely and just go to where the meter is and input one or two things or query on the meter. So we have this meter in different form. For this smart meter, for this smart one you're seeing that is up here is the GPR, is the compact type, whereby if peradventure you need to query the meter, you need to just walk to the meter and input your queries into the meter, and you can get feedbacks via the display screen that you're of course seeing on the meters here. So the meter automatically by SMS, that is for the billing. Billing and payments prepaid, it has stamp approved. So these meters are so much secure that if it is being installed in an estate, it's coming with an enclosure and a miniature breaker, which I will explain further in another slide. Now, these meters, please, the previous slide, please. Yeah, so these meters, once installed, it's coming with an enclosure which protects the meter. And the lifespan of this meter, if not, that's why you're seeing that it has stamp approved. If not tampered, the lifespan of the meter is between 5 to 10 years. Between 5 to 10 years, your meter is working perfectly. If there's no power surge, if there's no tamper on the meter, your meter is working perfectly. And it accepts all various means of payment. What I mean by that is, of course, these meters can work on every vending platform that you have, whatever it may be. Now, all you need to do is get your meters, make sure that, now, before you can get meter from us, let me explain that aspect. Of course, we have to come for an energy audit. Look at your consumption rate, which we have other associates project team that will do that for us. We send them to your site. After if you send an official notice to us for site visitation, which we're going to do, we say the site, do an energy audit, and then we now administer the proper the right meter that is required for you. Let you know, okay, this is the meter you need to install in your sites, in your estates, in the residence, or whatever it may be. So this kind of meter is for maybe users of a shopping outlets, just a mini room, not too big, where they can just easily move to the meter and maybe do their stuff. This next slide. Yes, and I want to talk about the GPRS meter, also single phase and three phase. This meter is called a smart GPRS PLC meter. Now, what we mean by PLC is power line communication, and I'm talking about you being able to query the meter and recharge the meter remotely. You query and recharge the meter remotely. Your in-house meter is installed outside. Because this meter is the source of the energy into the house. What I mean by source of energy is that after it has gotten the input, the load from your off-grid system running through the meter, it's going to drop the load back into the house. That is not supplying the house with electricity. So you can query this meter remotely. Just go to sit down on the seat and you connect it to probably a socket, and you can query them, you can charge, and you can do all sorts from it remotely where you are. As you can see, it's remote communication, and the protocol is via 2G, 3G, or 4G because it has a SIM module enabled. So it depends on the kind of SIM module you're using. If you want to do also a wide range remote query system where that is After you have the app on your phone, because there's an app associated with it, the app will be on your phone. You're going to operate it using the app via your phone, remotely anywhere. You want to recharge your meters, and probably your meter is installed in Lagos, and you went for a business meeting. Maybe you are in Aja area and you have gone to mainland. That's already in the mainland. So you can remotely do the recharging from your phone in the mainland. And then charge for them in the house, and they can use electricity in the house. Also, it has stamp approved, properly secured, 5 to 10 years range of use, and it accepts all means of payment. Also uses indigenous mutual applications. Please, next slide. Next slide. Yes, I also want to talk about the dual tariff meter, single phase and three phase. Yes, and this is, of course, needed in estates such as estates majorly. That's I'm talking about large estates, not mini estates, not just facilities, large estates. Because we all know that as an estate, there are two main tariff that is handled. There's the NEPA and the generator, or virtually, let me say, the solar system as the off-grid and the generator. Now, what this meter does is that it has been technically configured and specialized to be able to handle these two tariffs, just one meter. Instead of having two meters separately doing the billing for you, it's just does one billing. It doesn't make it does not become two. It's just one on the meter. The meter individually separates the billing. The meter individually separates the billing, and you can manage your off-grid tariff separately and your generator grid tariff separately. And this is function of this meter. In situations whereby probably there's a big load on, we don't know what we're using on generator, we don't know what we're using on NEPA, or probably the solar system. Now this is the best meter you're supposed to put into that consideration. It will do the billing for you separately, because of course both generator and both the off-grid energy is, and both the off-grid energy is different. They're both having their own load. So each load runs into the meter. The meter has a signal connection port that it used to know that, okay, this is where I'm getting my source from. That's the energy source from. This is where it's getting the energy source from, and it can do that the energy management separately and individually without interference whatsoever. Next slide, please. Yes, earlier I said who do we serve? We serve the distribution companies, that is the discourse in Nigeria, who are in charge of managing wide populated regions of electricity. We have Eko Disco, we have Benin Disco, we have Abuja Disco, we have Kano Disco, we have Ikeja Disco, we have Ibadan Disco, and also committed customers, which is where our estates management team comes in place, or real estate developers or facility owners comes in play, where we can sell these meters to you. Because, of course, like I said, there are some criteria you need to have attained before we can sell the meters to you. Number, you must make sure that you are not receiving what is called an estimated bill. An estimated bill is given to you by the NEPA industry. They'll give you that, so give you the bill based on what they believe that is what you're using. But being an estate, we believe that there's a particular geographical area you're covering, and of which you have residents in that area, in that geographical area you're covering, which of course you'll be having energy consumption. And because of that, what they are going to do for you, that's NEPA, is to give you a bulk bill according to what you're consuming based on the MD meter that is installed alongside your transformer. Or you are going to get a dedicated transformer. Now, the company, the NEPA, is going to give you a dedicated transformer, which you're going to write for. They'll give you a dedicated transformer. I don't know if I'm clear enough. I'm seeing messages that the network is really bad. I don't know if it's okay now.
Um, Marcus, thank you for that session while we try to deal with that. So basically, like I told you at the beginning, we are trying to put together a solution that will make your life significantly easy. So we are not just telling you we are bringing an alternative energy to your estate. We are taking it further to say the alternative energy is available. And like you heard my co-host say that they are with you all the way. While it's available, we are also bringing you a solution that is Momas that will help in making sure that the power distribution is seamless. Like we know currently, many people do bypass inside their houses. So you have a bill of 10,000 naira, for instance, and the light you used for the month is actually 20,000. So that's one of the problems that Momath meters is going to solve for you. So at every point in time, there is check. Our system even comes up with a solution that even the installation process will make it impossible for power theft. So you are not going to be dealing with someone, oh, you would say, oh, inside the person's house. You don't even have to go and disturb the person in their house. Like typical, when NEPA comes, sometimes they will come in when they see wires flying around in ways they can't understand. They can ask you, okay, we need to gain access to see where your DB is, to see, oh, how did you do this connection? Limestone is taking that away for the estate manager. You don't have to stress yourself about that. So we bring you a solution that would make sure you have 24 hours light. And when we bring that into the estate, we bring in Momas to make sure that they install meters that you can trust, not estimated bills. As you are consuming the light, you are seeing it. And Rensource already assured you that they are giving it to you at a discounted rate, which is lower than what most estates offer. And don't forget, it's coming with no pollution, and it's coming with no noise pollution. So at the end of everything, you are very, very comfortable in your estate. So the estate manager would not have to deal with that. You are not pursuing anybody. You are not trying to deal with anything at any point in time. All you need to do is just make sure that your tenants or make sure that the occupants in the estates are comfortable. And don't forget, this solution is going to attract people to your estate. For instance, I live in an estate where light became a major problem. And when it became a major problem, you just see people exiting the estate because some people actually go to estates because they want comfort. So at the point where the light solution was resolved, I saw them coming in back. So basically, what we are trying to also do for you as a facility manager and as a state manager is to ensure that you have your crowd every single time, and you don't have to deal with such problems because Rensource has a staff that is in the estate making sure that the light is stable. And Momas is always a call away to make sure that at every point in time your meter works well. So at this point, I'm going to bring in the third speaker. He's going to put everything together because, like I'm telling you, be imagining this person is giving me solar, this person is giving me meter. It's normal, it's something I'm used to. Trust me, it's not something you are used to. We are trying to make it seamless. We are trying to make it possible that even while you are at home, or even when you are at work, or you step out, you'll be able to know what is happening in your house. We're not telling you something that we've not tried, it's something that is tested and trusted. So at every point in time, you are in sync with your house. So at this point, I'm going to bring in the MD, the CEO for Limestone Technology Services. I have talked so much about every other person, but trust me, you would want to meet him. So at the end of every session, we are seeing questions that are coming in, different questions for how long it takes to install some things, what is the financial implication, what is the terms of partnership, what are the installation, is there installation for private homes? And we are seeing your questions. We are going to take that at the end of the whole session. So keep sending in your questions from time to time. So while we wait on that, I'm calling in Mr. Ifeany, the MD CEO for Limestone, to come and tell us how this solution is putting up everything together to make sure that our life is very easy. Please, answer.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Amaka. Thank you, Marcos, from Momas, and then it was great. Notwithstanding the issues with the audio, it was really great hearing what you had to say about meters. different varieties of those meters that are available, to make it easy for people to be able to know exactly what the consumption is in their homes. And for facility managers, estate owners, community managers, estate associations, resident associations, this is a great thing, because one of the biggest problem is, how do you make sure that people don't bypass? How do you make sure that if you able to get this third party or provider that's giving you power, how do you make sure that that power, it is, people don't bypass, and you can actually, people pay for exactly what they use? So all those varieties of meters being displayed have all the features that we need to get that done. The presentation from Rensource was also amazing. It was great to see what is there and how Rensource is making sure that you are a long-lasting partner towards quality, reliable energy generation. So you don't have to worry about power anymore. So this is great. So what am I here to talk about? We've talked about the power generation. We've talked about how to make sure that people can pay for what they consume using smart meters. What exactly is this young man going to be talking about today? I'm talking to you about Limestone, right? So Limestone is the thing that is stitching all of these things together. It is the secret sauce that we're bringing to you from Limestone Technology Services Limited that is going to make this whole thing work together seamlessly. And I will explain that to you in a short time. So next slide, please. Next slide. So we're going to be looking at how we're going to be able to revolutionize community living, right? So our vision in Limestone is to provide secure homes and neighborhoods for everyone, everywhere in Nigeria. So it doesn't matter where you are. Our vision is to make sure you have a secure home and neighborhood anywhere in Nigeria. And for us to be able to do that, and that is why we're having this partnership today with these companies that have presented this to you, because we can't do it alone, right? We know we need help. And so we're partnering with Rensource, who have very innovative ways of making sure power is available in your community. Because without power, you can't have a secure home. Everywhere is dark. It is not comfortable. People can, sneak into your house from time to time. There's really no way your home is secure and your neighborhood is secure without power. So that is one of the things that we're doing. That's why we're partnering with them. Also, in the same vein, there is no way to be able to have the power work properly for you if there is no metering. And that's why this partnership exists today with Momas. So what exactly is Limestone doing with this? So Limestone is a technology company that has built a suite of services, right, that is going to be stitching this together for you. So essentially the way it works is that community managers that have estates or estate owners, they get access to Limestone. Limestone would allow you to be able to manage your facility. So it's a property management solution, it's a community management solution, and it really comes together to be able to help you to manage know the people that exist in your community. So every single, and we're not talking about just having a list of them. So every landlord that lives in your estate or in your community, as they're bringing in tenants into the community and those tenants are living, you have information about who those tenants are, right? When they came in, they're living with them. All this information are available in our Know Your Customer feature in Limestone. And there is more. There's a lot more. In addition to that, in addition to all of those things, keep the slide one place, please. I will let you know when to move it. In addition to being able to know who your customers are, the other thing that we also do for you is, now that you've known your customer, there are visitors, the residents, sorry. Now that you've known your residents, you also want to be able to tell who are the people coming into your community, because we're talking about secure home and neighborhoods, right? For that to be able to happen effectively, we need to know who is coming into your community. You need to be able to tell and prevent people that shouldn't come in not to come in. So whether it's a gated community, it's an estate, it's a street that has gates or have a way, a community living together, Limestone makes it possible for you to be able to give access control to your community. And the way it works, it's really amazing. The individuals that live in the community are able to give access to people that will come in. And then when they come in and they need to go out, and the entire thing about how they move in and go in and go out is controlled by Limestone. And you can tell. You don't need to be at home to know who came to visit you. You don't need to be at home. You can tell. It's really the revolution of smart communities. That's what's going on now. This is technology. So if you have a community and you're struggling with being able to make sure it's secure, you have issues with people that are building in your community, in your estates, and there are different people stealing things within that community or within your estate, this solution is the solution for you. And there are many more things there as well. So all of these things we're doing is really on driving to make sure your community is secure. And there are many more features which we're going to talk about as we keep going. But today, I just wanted to introduce this a little bit for you. So before we go into the topic of today, because I want to explain to you how all of these things are stitched together. So next slide, please. So how is Limestone solving this problem, right? So essentially what we're doing is, next slide, what we're doing is that we are working with these partners that we've talked about to make sure that we can calculate exactly the energy consumption of every resident in your community. So now, we all know that our national grid is not reliable. It is common knowledge, right? So sometimes people get, some people that are lucky get up to 12 hours electricity from the national grid. Some people get, much less than that. If you need to have a community that have reliable energy, you need to partner with, companies like Rensource, right? And they will be able to bring in, and they have to bring this power to you that is cheaper than even the national grid, right? And at the end of the period of 15 years, you had him directly, you had from the horse's mouth. Those particular infrastructure can even now be sold to you at a much cheaper price. So it's really nothing to worry about. This is how this can be done. So in addition to having, once you have this partnership with companies like Rensource, energy generation companies, now you have power coming into your estate. The challenge is, most of the time, is that a lot of people have partnered with they have these power companies that have big generators and they give you power. But then it was even mentioned in the chat. Somebody was saying, how do we prevent people from bypassing those things? With Limestone, it is possible to prevent that. No one will be able to bypass your the meter you presented, because with Limestone you can track exactly what each person is using in their residence, and you can tell exactly when they pay. And if they don't pay, you can track it. It's everything, all the payments will be done right in the app, because we've integrated this with Momas meters, and Momas is the biggest metering company in West Africa. And most of the meters that are available, even in your homes today, are actually their meters as well. So we've done this partnership with them, and we're able to provide this level of control for you. So we promote fair billing and energy conservation using this process. Next slide, please. So now, once you have this in place, one of the things that we're doing is now, so I've talked about some of these already, the fact that we have a couple of features on the app that is now giving you that multifaceted security approach. So beyond security, there is focus on cultivating a responsive community. So Amaka had mentioned earlier to say, how do you get people in the estate to be able to talk to each other? Do you use WhatsApp and you just send them broadcast? Or do you want to use it that is built to allow communication within a community? Limestone is that solution. Now, is there a problem within your community and someone is being, there's a theft going on, let's say for any reason, something happened, somebody jumped the fence and entered. How does the community work together to be a collective community that is responding together? If you look at how the human being, we've always been social beings right from inception, even when we were hunter-gatherers. Many hundreds of thousands of years ago, human beings work as a team. We work together as a pack. And that is what makes us humans. What Limestone is doing is making it possible for us to be able to, go back to that primal instinct that exists within us of working together to solve our collective needs. With our panic alert feature, it is possible for us to do that. So if somebody within an estate has a problem, all he needs to do is to press the panic button on his phone. That will be available once he installs the Limestone app. As soon as he does that, everybody that's supposed to be alerted about this is notified. In fact, we're integrating this also with the local security and police around your neighborhood so they can rush immediately to your attention and solve that problem. In addition to just alerting you, the system will tell exactly where you are. And if somebody had kidnapped you and is taking you to somewhere, it will track them. It will show a GPS location. They will be able to track everywhere you're going, anywhere in the world. If they put you in a vehicle and put you in the boot, and you're with that phone there, we can track exactly where you're going. So they can follow that vehicle and rescue you. That is innovation. Innovation at its peak. And this is one of the things you'll be getting when we say the multi-faceted security approach. In addition to the access control, the panic solution that we have, solve this even better. There's also enhanced overall safety and trust within the community because now everybody understands what's going on. There's transparency. Nobody's bypassing meter. There is good security. Access control is there. You know your residents. You know who the estate managers know who is in the community. No complaint whatsoever. And the beautiful thing is that you actually don't even need to be able. You don't need to be updating the database itself. The database will update itself. If a tenant leaves, right, the database indicates that the tenant has left the company. He's no longer living with you. If a new tenant comes in, it's automatically updated. Because one of the problems is that sometimes this database, even if you spend time to generate the database, people sometimes don't update it. And so it becomes dated. And then you begin to have the same problem all over again. The Limestone database of residents is always constantly updating itself, which is amazing, which means that you can pick up the phone anytime and say, who is available in the estate today? So if there's fire at any point in time, you can tell exactly who is within the estate and how to rescue them from that place. That is amazing. That is great innovation. Next slide, please. Now, we've talked about the collaboration that we're doing today. I think I've already stressed this clearly. So Limestone is stitching this together. We're bringing Rensource, we're bringing Momas. There are many more partnerships that we're forging that will really begin to fulfill this vision that we have of secure home and neighborhood to everyone, everywhere in Nigeria. That's our mission, that's our vision, and we're dedicated to making that something that would happen. So our innovation is with software. So what you have on the screen today is what the application looks like. There is, a wallet system there that allows you to be able to track, the amount of money you have within Limestone. You can use that wallet to make your payment. There's also bills. So estate managers can set bills. So there is different bills that exist in estates, right? There is, waste management bill. There is different bills. There's levies that are levied to make sure that the estate works properly. This solution makes it easy for estate managers to be able to, collect their bills 100%. Go to the next slide, please. All of these things are things that we've taken time to build into the system. So how can you reap the benefit of innovative community? Next slide. So we talked about reliable electricity. That is definitely one of them. Say goodbye to power outages, right? That is something that we're making possible for you. We've talked about unified payment. So no need for you to now be wondering where to make payment. Everything is together in one app. In our app, the Limestone app, you have everything you need to be able to manage your community. Next slide, please. We have optimized energy consumption. With our partnership with Momas, you can tell exactly what you're using, and you can see your energy usage over time. And you can begin to make sure that you don't spend too much money on those as well. Next slide. There's also reliable green energy. I mentioned this already. I've talked about the problem that we have with the national grid, right? It's a challenge. It's a problem. If you rely on national grid, you would suffer. Nigeria will be hard for you. And that's what we're trying to save you from, right? So with our partnership with Rensource, that is over. You get better, cleaner energy that is even much more affordable and reliable. What are you waiting for, really? Enhanced accountability. So our app allows you to be able to really manage all of these things effectively, right? So it's effective, it is clear, it is transparent, The estate manager is not stealing money. It is obvious. Everybody knows that there's transparency on how this money is used. You are seeing the money coming from different places. It's a complete estate and community management solution. And the interesting thing is that it's also a property management solution. And I'm going to get to that when we get to some of the personas that this solution works for. This is designed by Nigerians for Nigerians. I personally have had these problems that we're solving here. I have struggled with, relying on the national grid, and I've suffered for that. Everybody in our team have gone through those problems. So we sat together and we've created a solution that is going to solve our collective problem. Next slide. So for facility managers, we understand the challenges you are facing today. We know that you're struggling with being able to manage the properties and estate within there. So what are a couple of things that we've built into our solution will make it easy for you to be able to manage your facilities, to manage your properties, to be able to manage the rentals, right? So everything that is happening within your facility, Limestone can help you do that, right? So you can set access control, you can create groups, you can determine exactly who should get access to what. All of those things are things that are there. Limestone is also great for estate owners. So if you are someone that has built an estate, you own an estate, this solution can help you manage your estate. And it can help you manage a group of estates as well. So if you have 50 estates, 100 estates, this solution can give you a bird's eye view of all the things happening across your estate. You get to see the revenues you're generating from there, from service charge, from the different levies. You can see all of those things. You have visibility across board, everywhere. That is really amazing and powerful. For real estate managers, the same thing. We offer you ability to be able to manage your properties. If you have a couple of properties that are, in different communities, this solution is easy for you to do that. With a Limestone app, you can tell exactly, you can publish your property for rental. People will be able to, say they want to book for inspection. The app will direct them how to get to the place. And then when they get to that location, they will be able to find your property, and then they will be inspected, and they can even make payment for these things in the app. It is an amazing solution that has solved all these needs. Same thing with landlords, right? So if you're a landlord and you're struggling with managing your tenants, this is a solution for you. The tenants can actually use this solution to even raise complaints, even within the community level. So there are shared resources, there are shared community assets that is managed by estate managers, or even within the property that's managed by the landlord. So there's complaint management there is tenant management, there is smooth operations for customer satisfaction. All of this is designed. We're also bringing in our services feature sets that makes it easy for people, for you to manage external people that are fixing things for you in your estate. So there's a lot of things that we're bringing together in this application for you. It is really called a super app. There's so many things that you get out of this. If you haven't downloaded the app, I would say go down to get.limestone.ng, type that on your browser, or go to My Limestone on Google Play Store, on App Store, to start downloading that right away. Or hold on, wait till I'm done, because I have more for you. Limestone is set to transform homes and communities' experiences. That is what we're here to do. We'll make sure that 100% of your dues collection is done. So if you are an estate manager, because when we did the survey, actually, we found out that most communities or estates struggle with being able to collect dues. And they need these dues to be able to make the communities better. But they're struggling. People don't pay dues. If you deploy Limestone, we guarantee you will get 100%. 100% of your dues will be collected, because we're building guardrails that prevent people from being able to enjoy a lot of things if they do not pay for the dues. So all of those things are tied together, and it makes this really work. We also have the enhanced security within the community. We talked about this as well. Next slide, please. So there's a lot of things like access control, visitor management. All of those things are things you will get in the app. There's also simplified community management, right? These are things that I've already mentioned some of these already. So you have simplified community management, providing tools for efficient communication, announcements, group management. So you can create groups. This is another very interesting thing. So within your estate or community, there might be different dues or different reason for you to group them separately. The system allows you to do that. And you can communicate with the different groups separately. That is all possible with the Limestone ecosystem of apps. There's also a deeper understanding of your residents. So we've talked about ability to know exactly who are your residents, who are those people, where are they from. So these are important information for security reasons. And we're also, in addition to all of this information being provided, we're also careful to make sure that even the residents' information is protected. So that we're giving you all of this information doesn't mean that it's not protected. It's also protected. We are making sure we're following the GDPR compliance requirements to make sure that all of these things, even the residents, their privacy is also protected. Next slide, please. So there's streamlined visitor access, right? There's management within communities. So you can actually, I think I've mentioned this already. So you as a resident can, once this is onboarded in your community, you can give grant access to people. And then if you don't want anybody to see you, the person shouldn't come. So only people that can come to see you, those that you've invited into your community. And that is how we make sure we're enhancing the security within your community. Right? And we talked about the response, right? We talked about the panic alert, which is really built with a lot of technology within it to make sure all of this are tracked. So I think I would pause here. There's a lot of things to unpack, and it's a super app really. There's a lot that contained within it, and we're building more features into this solution. So I'll stop here and move over to some of the questions. There are some questions, frequently asked questions. Yes, next slide. Let's take some of them. So in our conversation with a couple of estates and communities, there have been questions that have been thrown around. So I know some of these questions might be in your mind. I want to bring those questions up right now so we can talk about them. So one of them is, can defaulters be identified? Yes. So our solution makes it possible for you to be able to tell who is defaulting within your community. That's how we identify, that's how we can tell and make sure that we have that 100% thing. So if there's somebody that is not doing what he's supposed to do, it will flag the person, and you can even insist that person shouldn't be able to even recharge his meter, or won't be able to allow people into the estate. So there's a lot of control within the solution. Next slide, please. Can we create groups within the estate? The answer is yes. So you can have different groups, even if you have an estate within an estate or a community within a community, and they want their different configurations, you can do that as well. This solution makes it possible for you to be able to do that. Next slide. Who picks those that can access the account? You determine that. You have control. So the system is designed that you can create users and to give them permission of what they can do. So for very big estates or communities, you could have multiple facility managers that are working on different aspects of it. And you can create them and give them these controls. And also in cases where you have multiple estates as well, you can have all of them grouped together and then have different people manage different sections of the estate. So you really have all the control. The control is right in your hands. Next slide. Can this be hacked? Well, no. The straight answer is no. We use encryption. We've built this to be really reliable, right? Of course, we know that every system has issues from time to time. That is accepted, but our solution is built to be very difficult, if not impossible, to hack. Right, so we built it with, it's using the same technology that even the US defense is using, the Azure technology. There's a lot of things we built into it to make sure that it is really, really, really secure. I won't go into the details here because I'm going to be boring you and it might be very technical, but I can tell you we built security into this because this is really a security application. So how do you get defaulters to pay? We've talked about that already. Prevent them from being able to grant access control, prevent them from being able to pay electricity bill. There's many other things we can do. You really decide how you want to do that. You can remove a lot of features from them. They can't raise complaints. You decide how you want to do it. And when you do that, they have nothing they can do again. They will definitely pay the bills that they agreed to pay in the first place. Next slide. So I would encourage you to go today to download the app if you haven't done that yet. And if you're a community or a facility manager, a business owner, reach out to us. They will be putting down a slide for you to be able to reach out to us. The phone number we put on the screen, where you can call. You can reach out to us also by email. You can call. You can drop a message. Reach out to us. Let's speak to you and figure out a way to help you make your own neighborhood secure first. We are very committed to our vision of creating a secure home and neighborhood for everyone, everywhere in Nigeria. And to do that, you have to let us do that for you. So if you haven't downloaded the app today, go to get.limestone.com.ng, sorry, and download the app today. Or you can just search for My Limestone and start downloading immediately. Limestone.ng. Next slide. So you can contact us also in any of these links. But we're not done. So we are going to be, entertaining questions soon. I'll turn over back to the moderator to start the panel session immediately. So we can.
Welcome back once again. Thank you so much, Mr. Ifeany, for that mind-blowing presentation. I told you something. We are here to make your life easy. We are here to take away your stress. We just want you to be comfortable, and we want you to be safe. That's the summary of why we are here. And if you can remember exactly what he said that you cannot be at home and you have limestone. You can't be at home and someone just knocks on your door. You are going to get an alert that someone is coming to your house. You are going to give the person access. You can't be at home and you have an emergency and you're not able to reach out to your security that is far away at the gate. With Limestone, it solves that problem. So I encourage you to download this app. I encourage you to buy into the solution. If you go to limestone.ng, get limestone.ng, like he said, you are going to have access to the application. So at this point in time, I'm going to try to read out a couple of questions and each of the panelists will take the answers. So the first questions that I have is for Rensource, Mr. Raymond. The first question we have here is how long will it take to install 6,000 kVA? And that question is coming from Amy Tech Energy. How long will it take to install a 6,000 kVA system for an estate? We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry, my mic was on mute. So, like I said, for 6,000 kVA, that's really large. But so for that we'll do it in phases, right? But let's say about in 3 months we should be done from procurement to installation and commissioning. 3 months, give or take.
Thank you so much to your question. The next question we have still for Raymond is what is the financial implication for installing 1 megawatt solar? That's coming from Olalekon. What is the financial implication for installing 1 megawatt of solar system?
So like I mentioned
That's still for Raymond.
initially, like I mentioned initially, for 1 megawatt, it's usually the cost is usually about $900,000. But then what we do, I told you we have a PPA model, right? Power purchase model, where there's zero upfront cost. So for you, except you're willing to pay upfront. If you're willing to pay fully upfront, it's about 900 to $1 million. But then if you're not willing to pay upfront, we can actually finance it, and you pay us a tariff that will last about 15 to 25 years, depends on the option that suits you, right? So you actually might not have to commit any dime, and we do the whole financing for you, while you just pay us a tariff, monthly tariff. But if you are financially capable and you want to pay us one off, it's about $1 million thereabout. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raymond, for that. Like I mentioned to you, you are getting something at the end. For you to even be a part of this webinar, you have something to go home with. We told you are going to get a certificate. We also told you are going to get a financial benefit for this. So at the end of the session, I'm going to display a link that you are going to be able to fill the details you want to be on the certificate. That certificate will enable us know that you attended this webinar. So by the time you reach out to Limestone, that is a proof for you to get your discount that we promised you. So you're not just getting discount in the lights, you're not just getting discount and ease in managing some of these things. You're also going to get something like a financial reward for that, discounted from your normal pricing. So the next question is going to Mr. Ifeany. Someone is asking, Aloze Kenneth from Aba is asking, can this partnership happen even if you are in Aba? The question is for Mr. Ifeany Aneke. Can the partnership happen for people that stay in Aba?
Definitely. So the vision is to cover Nigeria, the entire Nigeria. So whether you are in Aba, you are in any part of Nigeria, we should be able to work with you to solve these problems for you. Thank you. There is no shorter way to answer that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ifeanyi. The next question is going to Mr. Raymond. Someone is asking, can your system service a three-bedroom flat? The question is coming from Mr. Yusuf, that he just relocated to Ibadan. Maybe I guess he's relocating from somewhere he's used to 24 hours light, and he gets to Ibadan and just realized that life has just hit him hard. He's not getting light over there. So he's asking, can you be able to service his three-bedroom apartment and give him the 24-hour light that we just talked about?
Okay, like I said, for now we are not dealing with individuals, so unfortunately we can't deal with you except if you're in an estate. We can deal with the estate management as a whole, but we are not dealing with individuals, so we can't service you at the moment. But if you're part of an estate management, we can deal with the estate facility management and service the whole estate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Raymond. Yusuf, what Raymond is basically saying, let's take, for instance, you live in an estate that is called Gowon Estate, and now you need light. What you can do is, if you know your estate managers or if you know this chairman of the estate, you can tell them, oh, I went for a webinar and we are going to be able to get a 24 hours light into this estate. So we are going to treat you as an estate, not just as a residential home. So what you can do if you live in an estate is to speak to your estate managers. You can always reach out to us on our social media handles and the numbers that have been displayed and will be displayed at the end. You can also send us an email at the end. We will receive that and we'll get back to your estate if you live in an estate. Thank you very much, Yusuf. The next question is going to be between Raymond, Marcus, and Mr. Ifeanyi. So someone is asking, can we use the meters with solar panels? Someone is asking because we just told them that we're going to be able to give you a 24 hours light in your estate, and we're going to provide you with a meter that would make sure that the your light is metered properly. So the person's confusion is he's used to having grid system, the national grid, what with meters. Maybe he hasn't heard that you can use what light generated from solar through the meter to his house. So he is asking, is that possible?
Okay, yes, it's possible, right? So we're going to be working with Memco to they're the metering company. It's just the same thing, right? Like I told you, we're a utility company, but just like AEDC or Eco Disco or Lekki Disco, but or Ibadan Disco, about. But the only difference is where our source of power is solar. So we're actually a utility company. So our systems can be metered, and we're going to be partnering with Memco to meter your facilities. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Raymond. So basically, what Raymond is trying to tell you is the electricity you get from the solar is not different from the one you get from the regular grid. All you do is that light is coming into your building. So at that point where it's transmitted to the meter, passes the same way the normal light will pass. So you don't have any extra thing to do. You are not required to do anything extra. All you need to do is make payments or have an arrangement. Oh, this is how we want it. And we take away sleepless night from you. you sleep very comfortably in your homes. That's why we are here. So don't worry about that. We have a technology that will solve that problem. And it's not just that we are solving it. Whether you are in the office, maybe you are in the office and you're wondering what is even going on in my house. Don't worry, Limestone will answer that question for you. You will see exactly what is going on in your house from anywhere you are. The next question we have will go to Mr. Ifeany Aneke. So the person has listened to everything we said. The person has listened to us promising light. Maybe the person have an experience. So the person is asking, that's Adiola Adeyemi, is asking, do we have measures for those that might bypass? So like we said, people bypass most times in estates. So he is asking, do we have measures for people that will bypass to ensure that the light that is being supplied is exactly the same thing that is being paid for? Not that a like 20,000 naira light is supplied and someone is just paying remitting 5,000 naira. So the question goes to Mr. Ifeany Aneke.
Yeah, thank you very much. The solution that we have for you will prevent bypass. It will be difficult, if not impossible, for anybody to do that successfully without being detected, because we're not only tracking how much you paid today. The system would actually be able to tell how that usage is happening, and it's not going to be possible to bypass with our solution. We have good experience to work with you to make sure we design and configure this in a way that you can solve that problem without any challenges.
So Adiola, I believe you got that. So we are not just supplying the lights to you. We are making sure that to the point of installation, that it's done in a way that you don't have to worry about bypassing. The people that have very good technology in trying to move wires from blocks into the meter, don't worry. We also have a technology that will ensure that as it's coming out, we are getting it and putting it directly into the meter. You don't have to worry about that at any point in time. So Adiola, our solution will solve your problem 100%. I can assure you that. So I have some comments from both Electric and from Amy Tech because they basically came to confirm that submetering is possible and mini grid solution is also possible, that it can actually solve problems in the real estate. Both Electric and Amy Tech, I hope we answered that your question. Our solution solves those problems. You don't have to worry about that. You can contact us with the numbers that will keep displaying on the screen. There's a contact line there. Limestone contact line is 08066322032. You can also get that from the screen. I'll go again, 08066322032. You can call us anytime of the day. We are here to answer you. Don't forget it's a 24-hour service. We are always here to answer any question you have for us. And don't forget, I told you that if you are going to stay to the end of the webinar, you're going to get something amazing from Limestone and the team. So we are going to also display a link for you to be able to fill in your certificates. If you have questions, please feel free to ask your questions at any point in time. We are going to answer you anytime, any day. If you want to ask today, we can also answer you. So in the absence of that, I would want the team to display our various social media handles and our social media pages so that people would be able to get that immediately. So you can contact us, like we said, on for Facebook, the Limestone app. If you go to Facebook, just search for the Limestone app. We are there on Facebook. If you want to get across to us through Instagram, we are there at Get Limestone. Then you can also check out our website on www.limestone.ng. Whenever you want to reach out to us, we are always available. So can we take our questions? So for you to get your certificates for attendance, you can see it on the screen. Click on lmst.ng/certificates. Fill all your details there. We are going to automatically send you a certificate. Like we said, we're a technology company. We're not going to call you or come to our office that is located in so place. At the convenience of your home, you're going to get your certificate signed and sealed. And when you present that to any of my team members, that they are going to be able to attend to you and still give you the discount that we promised that we're going to give you. Do we have more questions from the attendees? Do we have any comments? Do we need any clarity? Do we need to know? Then, if you want to download the app, like we said, just go to get.limestone.ng. Get.limestone.ng. That's the link directly to be able to download the app. Do we have more questions? All right. So, in the absence of any other question, I would want to say thank you very much. Rensource, I want to say thank you for bringing out time to be with us here. Thank you for all the sleepless nights, the sacrifice, and every single thing. Marcus from Momas, we are going to say thank you. Thank you, Momas in general, for honoring our invitation. It wasn't easy to get you here, the biggest metering company in Nigeria. Trust me, it took us a lot of energy to be able to get them here. The same thing with Rensource. Now, the MD CEO of Limestone, who is the brain behind the application called Limestone, thank you for dreaming about this and thank you for being patient to make it a reality. And for the rest of my team, the director, Kelvin, my social media guys, the digital marketers that is ensuring that this is seamless. Miracle, Femi, Tosin, and the rest. I want to say thank you. I'm your host. My name is Amaka Ezekwesili from Limestone. Thank you very much and do have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.